Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Yes, a little something different today. I don't usually put up two videos in the same day, but I want to discuss the nerf that's coming to Project Titan. And although I went over the patch notes, the title update 1.1.0 in about a 50-minute video, there's so much to consume in that video that you go through it and it's like, wow, you have to take a lot in. So I wanted to take 5 or 10 minutes to really discuss these Project Titan nerfs that are coming to the weapons that the players have felt are the best weapons to get the job done. So now what Ubisoft has done, for those of you who might not know, they've taken the LMGs, which if you are a consistent player with the raids, you know that in the majority of the fights, the LMGs are the best bang for your buck. Why? It's basically the ammo count, the magazine count. For the LMG with 150 rounds, they are now nerfing it by 17%. Why? Because it's a popular gun. When you have to shoot a boss in a little box to bring his health down, you're going to pick weapons that do a lot of damage. And when you can maximize your damage with more bullets in a shorter amount of time, it seems like the best weapon, for the job. Now the LMGs with 100 ammo capacity have been nerfed by 7%. Now to make up for this, Ubisoft has also nerfed the bosses. So Bale has been nerfed by 5%. A lot of things in Skell Quantum Computer has been nerfed. The delay between gas has been increased. The delay between the Wasp waves have been increased. The health of the boss has been decreased. The HP of the Wasp in Phase 2 has been nerfed. So there are some things, even Cerebrus here, look, nerfed 5%. And a bunch of things down here that are just miscellaneous things that they fixed. But basically, they nerfed the bosses about 5% with Skell Quantum Computer getting some nerfs to the mechanics. But then they nerfed the weapon that, obviously, their data shows that the majority of people playing the raid and completing the raid are using LMGs. Now, the problem I have with this is the fact that when you have a game that's supposed to be a tactical shooter, which obviously it feels more like an MMO at this point, that they can just arbitrarily nerf damage, right? In a tactical shooter, the LMG should have a certain caliber and a certain type of recoil, right? So maybe instead of nerfing the LMG by moving its damage, you guys should have had the LMG more as a weapon that was a little more hard to handle the longer you held on the trigger. Now, obviously, this takes more programming and more dedication for the team to really pinpoint each gun to make them feel different. But when you choose an AK at 7.62 or M4 at 5.56 or any one of these LMGs that go back and forth, I believe the Stoner is 5.56 and I think this 48 is 7.62, I believe, and even the LMGs with 100 ammo capacity, you get to the point where you should be nerfing these things in a different fashion. And this goes back to a lot of the older videos that I made before the game even came out, discussing how RPG elements should work in this game, how the tiered loot should work, and how things should work with the weapons being a green weapon, a blue weapon, a purple weapon, etc. And I went into things like having guns jam and having certain attachments and being able to maybe talk to scientists and build up a certain type of rapport with the scientists, to where if you're on a good basis with them, they can craft certain attachments for high value weapons or things like that. Anyway, but that was how I was discussing how maybe we should go into the these RPG mechanics when it comes to Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Because you see, I'm going to be honest, this is not it. Punishing people for picking the best weapon for the job, the best tool for the job, this is not how you go about creating games. You understand? People should be able to use a 150 ammo capacity weapon at 5.56, 7.62, whatever. And the damage should reflect the bullet damage should reflect on the type of caliber of the bullet, but also the recoil should affect as well. Now, a lot of these guns, the recoil is very, very easy to handle, but perhaps Ubisoft in the next iteration of this franchise can really nail caliber of bullets with the guns that the bullets go to, and the type of recoil these guns should really have at single round, 3-round burst, at fully automatic holding it. An LMG, as you sit there and you hold it and you get 5, 10, 15 rounds, it should get a little more wild on you. And also, how about when you're in the gunsmith, instead of making us pick flowers to build concoctions to make our stamina better, how about if I hold my LMG, if I hold my stoner at full auto for 150 rounds and I load up the next magazine and the next one, maybe my gun can be damaged. Maybe like in the Division, how you see the muzzle get hot, you basically see it go red in the Division, which is a cool effect that they didn't do in Breakpoint, which I like. They should do that in the next game. But maybe we can burn through these guns. Maybe instead of picking flowers, we can go to a bivouac or to a scientist or to a Maria's shop, and we can fix our weapons that we've burned through because we're shooting them at full auto, which eventually, if you've seen any video on YouTube, they've done tests to see how long you can shoot a certain gun at full auto before the shit just melts. These are things that the developers need to think about. And I don't care if it takes time to create these mechanics, if it takes time to create these types of systems that would work in a game like this. This is how you move this franchise forward. And I'm all about discussing how to move this franchise forward when it comes to mechanics. These are the types of mechanics that game developers need to stop doing, especially for this franchise. Start developing your code now for the future, so when we come into a new tactical shooter, a new mil sim type game where people want to have the right caliber for the right weapon and they want things to work, they want the recoil to feel real, they want the sound of it to feel real, all of these things need to be in the next game. I know it's not going to be in this game, but you need to start thinking outside the box of the status quo of numbers. Okay, all these guns do this amount of damage. This boss takes this amount of damage. Like, you could have made this harder simply just by saying, look, I want you guys, programmers, whatever, I want you guys to program that when the LMG guns at 150 rounds, when the person shoots more than 15 rounds in a single burst or 10 rounds in a single burst, it multiplies, the recoil multiplies by X, or, however many much. And so this recoil right here becomes this recoil. And then after another 15 bullets, it becomes this recoil. Can you do that? Yes, we can do that. We're game developers, of course. We have to figure out the code. We have to bake it into the mechanics, bake it into the animations. Everything has to be done. But yes, we can do it. Stop building your games like this and start building it for people who are playing this game. And that's the type of mentality people really want the developers to have when they're making these games. They don't want to be here and be playing a game and realize that, okay, the best LMG, which has 150 rounds, which does good for the raid boss where I got to shoot a little thing, now got nerfed because I keep using it. They don't want that. All right? That's not what people want. People want to come into these games and they want things to feel real. And as developers, you should not be worried with the fact that people found the min-max. Your players don't want to sit there after you've given them the mechanics that you created. They figured out how to min-max things, right? Because that's basically the game you're creating now, right? You want to create these RPG games. You want to create these games that feel like like World of Warcraft or Witcher 3 or blah blah blah. Oh, we have, you know, purple gear now, we're stronger, whatever. You can't create this type of game and then when someone finds the best weapon for the job, which obviously for the mechanics you made was the gun with the most bullets, because all you did, there's no mechanics to the boss. It's just avoid a laser but keep shooting a little square box. Like there's, and for those of you, maybe if you're new to my channel, I'll link it up here for you. I made an old video before the raid came out, like what I would like to see in raids. And yo, it's nothing crazy. Like you don't have to build crazy boss fights like this. It could be simple shit with just splitting up teams and one team going to one room to get info so another team could move forward, so that team could move forward, and then like you'll see. I made a video about it. Had some simple mechanics I thought of for that could be introduced in a raid, and how I would like to see things move forward when it comes to building out raids in this type of game. And that shit is just ignored, man. These developers, I don't know if it's an engine issue, but I don't understand how we got here with Ghost Recon Breakpoint with these types of boss mechanics. And now we're starting to see, like, this is the type of shit that I experienced with World of Warcraft. When 1 month you were doing something and the next month it was like, yo, we nerfed this by this much percent. This move wasn't doing enough, so we buffed it. Like, that's some MMO RPG type shit. And it's basically some RPG type shit. People want something better for this franchise. We want the developers to be able to use their imagination and to use the things that make this genre make sense. Like I said, and I will reiterate and repeat myself, the caliber of bullets, the type of recoil. You guys, you know, you have it with reload speed, where it takes longer for these guns to reload because you got to take out these big magazines and then you got to feed the belt. And you know, we want more things like that, to the point where if you realize everyone's using LMGs, maybe at a certain point you can say, okay, we need the recoil to be worse. You know, maybe these guns should be bursted more, and on full auto they should be more suppression based weapons, which is another thing I would have liked to see more of in this game, are mechanics like that, where you can be suppressed and you can suppress, which does work sometimes. You can suppress an enemy and he'll stay down. But you have these mechanics from Wildlands, from the PvP, where when you get shot, you have you get disoriented and suppressed. There are ways to build upon this game, and there are ways to not. And I just wanted to make this video to say that with the Project Titan raid and what I'm seeing with these nerfs, this is not the way to build this game moving forward. So for the developers, for the people out there, if you agree with me, let me know. Comment down below. We'll discuss some things like always, and we'll talk about how we can really push this franchise and this genre forward, so we don't have to experience this type of gameplay moving forward. I don't want to experience this type of stuff. And if you guys click on the link that I sent about my raid ideas, you know, hit me up in that video too, discussing what you would like to see moving forward in raids for a tactical shooter and the Ghost Recon franchise. Because I know this raid, this ain't it. People want to see basically everything that was outside of this. Like the entire island of Gollum Island. The people want to see that with some mechanics that make sense. They want to experience Charlie Sheen and Navy SEALs, you know, infiltrating a boat, or entering Lebanon, or, you know, like, you want to feel like you're an actual operator, man. You don't want to feel like you're playing a Division / World of Warcraft game. But anyway, I just wanted to discuss that and really discuss how already we're down the wrong path with how things are going in this game. And for the people who, minus the DMR glitch, which people have been using the past few weeks or however long they've been using it, people were actually legitimately beating the boss with everybody using like their drone gear, plus damage drone gear, or their drone perk, with the LMGs. Like, they were figuring out how to min-max this game. And the minute they figure it out, the developers come along and they say, no, you can't do that. We don't want you to do that. We want you to use all different types of guns, which doesn't work, developers, because now we're just going to find the next gun that min-maxes this situation. It's not like we're going to use a variety of guns. You've programmed the game to a point where people are going to min-max because you made a min-max game. Like, you realize that, right? So anyway, that's all for this video. I just wanted to get I wanted to get these ideas out there because I really couldn't discuss in the last video with the patch note videos are so long because I read the entire thread. So I wanted to make this video as a side note about this Project Titan issue and these nerfs, because this really hit me on how, you know, I know it's only for the raid bosses, but the LMG with high ammo capacity were too powerful and dominant in raid boss fights. Guys, we're just going to find the next dominant gun and use that one. And then what, you're going to nerf that one? We'll find the one after that and use that one. And then you're going to nerf that one. It's a never-ending shit show. So, moving forward, design your games better. You don't need to design shitty-ass bosses like this. We don't want to see shit like this, okay? We want, think outside the box. Like I said, look at that raid video. Let me know what you think of those simple ideas. And get back to me. We'll discuss some things, everybody. Anyway, everyone, enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks for stopping by and watching this. Let me know what you think in the comments, like always. All right? All right, everybody. See you later. Peace.